Oh, the $800 car payment trap. Why your dream car is stealing your retirement. There's a specific smell we've been programmed to worship. It's the scent of new leather, fresh plastic, and factory carpet, what we call new car smell. To most Americans, that smell represents success and achievement. It signals you've made it enough to drive off in a gleaming machine. But to anyone who understands compound interest, that smell is different. It's actually the scent of burning money and destroyed wealth. We obsess over $5 lattes and $10 subscriptions. Then we casually commit to $800 monthly payments for 7 years without blinking. We normalize this insanity saying, everyone has a car payment. But that sentence is the lie keeping the middle class permanently broke. The car payment isn't just a bill. It's a wealth transfer mechanism funneling millions from your retirement into manufacturers' pockets. I'm Bobby, and I expose the invisible chains keeping high earners paycheck to paycheck. If you drive a nice car but feel sick when the payment hits, this is for you. Today we're performing a brutal autopsy on America's car obsession. We'll break down true ownership costs, predatory 84-month loans, and the terrifying opportunity cost. I'm going to prove your $50,000 truck actually costs $2 million of freedom. Let that number haunt you as we dive deeper. The asset illusion. Here's the fundamental problem. We view cars as assets, and we proudly list them on our net worth statements as valuable possessions. But a car is not an asset. It's a liability. An asset puts money in your pocket, a liability takes money out. A car is a consumer good like a toaster, except it costs as much as a house and requires constant feeding. The moment you drive off the lot, depreciation destroys you. You lose 10 to 20% of value in the first 60 seconds. Imagine buying a $50,000 stock that drops to $40,000 1 minute later. You'd vomit, panic sell, and swear off investing forever. But with cars, we celebrate this loss voluntarily every few years. We take Instagram photos of our financial destruction, the dealership manipulation. The dealership model hides this robbery using psychological warfare. They use a trick called the 4 square in that glass office. The finance manager doesn't want to discuss the actual price. They don't want to talk about the interest rate either. They only focus on one thing, the monthly payment. What payment are you comfortable with? Is the trap question. By focusing on monthly payments, they manipulate everything else. They adjust term length and interest rates to fit any expensive car into your budget. This created the explosion of 84-month and even 96-month loans. They take a $60,000 truck you clearly can't afford and stretch payments over a decade. Suddenly it looks affordable at $850 monthly. But you're not paying for the car. You're drowning in interest for years. You're paying for a vehicle that'll be rusting and breaking down, and you still won't own the title when it falls apart. The reliability myth. You might be thinking you need a reliable car for work. You can't drive some beater that breaks down constantly. I hear you. I'm not suggesting bicycles in snowstorms. For most Americans, a car is necessary transportation, not luxury. But here's what they don't tell you. Reliability and expense aren't the same. The myth that you need new cars for reliability is profitable propaganda. According to Consumer Reports, the most reliable vehicles are often 3 to 5 years old. The bugs are worked out, recalls are addressed, and they're proven performers. A 3-year-old Toyota Camry with 40,000 miles isn't less reliable than new. In many ways, it's more reliable because it's been tested in real conditions. Here's the beautiful part. That used Camry already took the biggest depreciation hit. Someone else paid $15,000 plus for the privilege of driving it off the lot new. You buy the same essential vehicle with modern safety features, but you pay tens of thousands less for functionally identical transportation. The true cost of ownership. Most people look at the sticker price and stop there. They think a $40,000 car costs $40,000. No, that's just the entry fee to the casino. Sales tax immediately vaporizes $3,000 of your money. Then comes the finance tax at today's 7% rates. On a $40,000 loan over 72 months, you're paying $9,000 in pure interest profit to banks. New cars cost significantly more to insure than used ones. Add premium gas if you bought a luxury vehicle, plus modern computer maintenance costs. When a sensor breaks in your bumper, it's not $50 anymore. It's a $1,500 calibration job at the dealership. Add up the tax, interest, insurance, gas, and depreciation honestly. That $40,000 car costs $70,000 to $80,000 over 5 years. At the end of 5 years, the car is worth $15,000. You spent $80,000 to own an asset worth $15,000. You lit $65,000 on fire. That's $13,000 annually after taxes just to move your body around. But the real tragedy is the opportunity cost that makes me physically ill. The $2.7 million ghost. This is the ghost wealth you destroyed by signing that lease. Let's run a real simulation with actual numbers. The average American car payment in late 2025 is around $730. Let's round to $800, including higher insurance for new vehicles. If you're 25 years old and bought reliable used cars for cash instead, then invested that $800 monthly payment into the S&P 500. You do this from age 25 to 65, never having a car payment, just investing what you would have sent to Ford or Toyota. At an average 8% return, you'd have $2,700,000 at age 65. Let that number completely destroy your brain for a moment. The decision to drive new cars cost you nearly $3 million in retirement wealth. You're not driving a Ford Explorer. You're driving your financial freedom. You're driving your beach house and early retirement. When you see a luxury SUV on the highway, don't feel envy, feel pity. That person is driving a $3 million liability. They're stripping the gears of their own future to look rich temporarily in the present. The negative equity trap. People trade cars every 3 years, so creating a catastrophic snowball effect. They trade in cars worth less than what they owe. You owe $30,000 on a car worth $25,000 when you trade it. The dealer rolls that $5,000 negative equity into your new loan. Now you're paying interest on your new car and your old car. I've seen people driving Honda Civics but paying $1,200 monthly. They're essentially paying for the Civic, the Accord before it, and the Jeep before that. They're carrying the ghost of every bad decision in their trunk. Yet they're underwater, drowning in debt with a depreciating asset. If it gets totaled tomorrow, they're left with nothing but the bill. The psychology of car obsession. Why are we so irrational about vehicles? It comes down to 2 manipulations: safety marketing and status signaling. Car companies brilliantly convinced us massive SUVs are necessary. They prey on fear. Don't you want your family safe? But data shows 5-year-old cars are statistically almost as safe. These safety innovations have plateaued. You're paying 50% more for 1% extra safety. Then there's status. Cars are the ultimate public wealth display. You can't wear your house to work or your portfolio to the store. But you wear your car everywhere as your avatar. In the Henry demographic, high earner, not rich yet, cars are primary status signals. We justify it. I work hard, I deserve a nice ride. These are rationalizations covering insecurity and fear. You can be comfortable in a $15,000 used Lexus. You don't need the $80,000 Range Rover for comfort. You need it for validation. You're buying self-esteem with debt. And the irony is, nobody actually cares about your car. When you see a Ferrari, you don't think, that guy is cool. You think, I would look cool in that Ferrari. We're all narcissists staring in mirrors. Nobody is impressed by your car payment, only the illusion you're projecting. And the leasing scam. Leasing is often pitched as the smart way to drive. I just rent it. No maintenance worries, new one every 3 years. Leasing is the most expensive way to operate a vehicle, period. You're financing the steepest part of the depreciation curve. You pay for the years when it loses the most value. Then you give it back right before depreciation flattens out. You're perpetually renting newness. It's a subscription service for poverty with zero asset ownership at the end. It's the mafia model applied to transportation. You're locked into permanent monthly payments for life. The 2025 digital trap. In 2025, the traps are getting more sophisticated and invasive. We're seeing the rise of subscription features in cars. BMW charges for heated seats. Mercedes charges monthly fees for faster acceleration that's already built into the car. Manufacturers realize selling the car isn't enough anymore. They want to turn you into a recurring revenue stream forever. If you buy a modern connected car, you're not the owner. You're the user, and they can disable features remotely. They track your driving data and sell it to insurance companies. This raises your rates, and it's actually happening right now. Driving an older, dumb car isn't just a financial hack. It's a privacy hack opting out of automotive surveillance capitalism. The solution. The sweet spot strategy. Do we all have to drive rusted beaters from 1999? No, that's extreme and outdated advice. And there's a middle ground, a sweet spot strategy. The depreciation curve is steepest in the first 3 to 4 years. By year 4 or 5, the car lost 50 to 60% of value, but it still has 80% of its useful life remaining. That's the arbitrage opportunity. Buy a 3 to 5-year-old car and let the first owner take the $20,000 hit. You swoop in and buy the asset at a massive discount. Then here's the key. Drive it until the wheels fall off. Keep that car for 10 years minimum. For the last 5 years, you have no car payment. That's the golden period. That's when you take that $800 monthly and shove it into investments. That's when you build the $2 million nest egg. Follow the 20/3/8 rule if you must finance, which you shouldn't. Put 20% down minimum, finance, for maximum 3 years. The payment should be no more than 8% of your gross income. If you run these numbers on a $60,000 truck, you'll realize you can't afford it. The math forces you into the $25,000 sedan. That's where you belong if you want to build actual wealth. Most people finance zero down for 84 months at 15% of income. They're mathematically ensuring they'll never retire. The ego death required. This requires a massive ego death. You must be willing to drive the older car in the office parking lot. You must opt out of the arms race. But realize the person in the brand new Mercedes is likely broke and stressed. They're one layoff away from the repo man. That you, in your 5-year-old Toyota, are free with liquidity and peace. Cars are tools, not investments or soul extensions. They're boxes of metal and glass that consume resources. Stop loving your car and start loving your freedom. Stop loving new car smell and start loving a growing net worth. The next time you feel the urge to upgrade, calculate opportunity cost. Ask yourself, is this shiny box worth $2 million of my future? The answer is always, unequivocally, absolutely no. Your future self will thank you for the discipline today.